Welcome back to Dirt 5 Energy DLC. If you're enjoying this series or any content on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. A like on the episodes does help as well, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Now today we're going to start with the hot lap at Lijang Village, China for a Land Rush event. Wolverine is starting us off and he's driving the Audi AI Trail Quattro of the pre-runner class. If I can get the words out correctly, that would help. Now, by the title of the video, you're wondering that's not an odd choice. No, it's not. The second race is where Wolverine makes a bit of an odd choice, but we're going to get onto that. First of all, we're into this first race. Wolverine in the Audi AI, he likes this car mainly because of a track like this. This car around a circuit like this one, you actually don't need to brake very often. It really grips really well in the mud, and he is off to a rocket of a start, already up to 8th place and climbing, 7th place now. And this is what I mean, this vehicle is incredible on these kind of tracks. It just holds its grip around the corners. You barely have to touch the brakes most of the time, and that's why he likes it so much. He has a tendency to forget about braking, to be fair, so not having to press the brakes does help. Already up to second place after a few corners. He's chasing down the leader already, dropping down momentarily to third, but going to take second again as he goes round the outside there. Chasing down the car in first place. Little right-hander here, being challenged from behind, but he's holding his position. Left-hander now, can he bring it up the inside? He can indeed, and it's just that speed he can carry around the corners compared to all the other cars is incredible. First place it is for Wolverine. Can he hold on though for the next 2 and a bit laps for the win? Now he's had some fantastic results recently, Wolverine has. I'm hoping this could be another one. Right-hander now taking nicely as we're going to finish the first lap. Wolverine is going to cross the line in first place. Now he just needs to hold on 2 more laps. If he can extend that lead, that would be brilliant. He's just got to hold on. Right-hander taking nicely. Left-hander now drifting the car round. 47 miles an hour. That's not a bad speed round there, to be fair. Considering the mud that's on the track as well, you've really got to get the car to drift around some of the corners to really carry speed. He's doing a good job so far. There is a car on his tail, so he's lost a little bit of time to the cars behind. He's going to be challenged if he's not careful. Right-hander now. It's only a little one. He's taking it nicely. Left-hander coming up. This is where the car excels in these long left-handers. Bringing the car around nicely, 70 odd miles an hour. Around the bend and barely moving the car. Just takes the corner really well with a really good speed as well. A little bit less speed on that one, but still in first place. Still a car in his tail. He's not getting away at this point. Right-hander, and again 55 miles an hour as he finishes the second lap. Start of the final lap, Wolverine is still in first place and holding off the challengers from behind. He's not put a foot wrong so far. Can he keep this going? There's the car just coming up behind him there. Left-hander here, maybe a little bit deep into this one. He's used the banking to keep his speed and he's going to regain first place. Right-hander now, hold it nicely again, a little bit deep. Maybe he's not getting a bit carried away with this not braking kind of thing. But he's holding on. Still in first place, over the hill. Left-hander, he's got a right-hander coming up. The gap is nothing. The car behind him is right behind him. He really needs to take his next couple of corners superbly. Left-hander, this is where he really excels, and this guy's dropped a bit of the speed off there. Dropped below 70, but is now trying to get the speed back up. Down the hill, followed by another left-hander. He's drifting nicely. Again, probably a little bit too deep as he crosses in front of the other car. This is where he's going to be slow now, because he hit the other car as he crossed in front of his path. 50 miles an hour. Can he cross the line in first place? It's going to be a race for the finish, and he does. Wolverine finishes the first race in first place, and what a start to the episode. Wolverine showcasing his skill in the mud with the Audi AI Trail Quattro. I'm not surprised. That car on that kind of track is immense, and Wolverine, he made a few mistakes in the final lap, but other than that, it was a superb drive and a brilliant start to the episode. And 3 stamps for Wolverine. Can never fault him for bringing 3 stamps home, can we now? Now, if you're looking for the reason for the title, we're about to see it. As we just get the money come in for the rewards for the race. There we go. Now, next up we have full fuel injection. This is at Agni, Morocco for a Land Rush event, and Wolverine has decided, in his wisdom, he will be driving the Jackson Eulogy of the Classic Rally class. Now, if you're not sure what this car is, you're about to see it, but this is the car Wolverine picked for me to drive on an ice race. because he thought it would be funny. I actually won that race, mainly because the car isn't too bad on ice because you have space. Once you're through the pack, life's easy. This isn't a track with space. This is a lot tighter, and this is the Jackson Eulogy. I don't know why he decided to give this a go. He decided to challenge himself, which I can never say no to for that. You know, trying to make it harder for himself is never a bad thing. But there was many other cars to choose from. This one wouldn't be my first choice. And it's not that it lacks acceleration, because it definitely lacks acceleration. It is just very, very long. He's not the only one in the race with it though, strangely. And the problem with being long is when you're fighting in a pack, the race becomes harder because your car gets caught on all the other cars. Once you're out on your own, it's not so bad. So if you can get through the pack quickly, this car can be decent, but it's just, you don't want to be getting caught up. And you can see it's struggling around some of the corners. The back end is hitting the barriers. Once the speed gets up, which does take its time, it can hold its speed pretty well, but you drop speed, it's very difficult to get it back. So far, he's found himself in 5th place. I don't know how he's got that high up, but he has. Dropping down a little bit here to 6th. There's another Jackson Eulogy on his outside, or inside there. Taking the corner a little bit too deep, just can't get the car to turn, and this is something else with this car. On the ice, I have a lot more space to drift the car. He doesn't have that in this track. 5th place though currently, so actually, not too bad. The faster cars have just overtaken him down the corner. He's back up the inside, but can't get the car to turn he wants it to. Going across the other Eulogy there, holding on to 7th place currently. Faster cars have finally found their way through, but he's going to find his way up the inside here and try and force his way through. Use the longer, stronger car, knock the other cars out of the way. He's got 6th place currently and nearly landed on the car ahead of him, but he's going to retake 5th. As I say, once this car gets up to speed, it's okay. It's getting up to speed takes some time. Nice corner here, takes it well but oversteers and goes into the barrier. Just puts too much turn on the car and just can't control the drift. And this is the problem with this car. This is why I said I was surprised he gave it a go, but at least he's trying. And that's all I can ask for. He's already guaranteed a stamp, so whatever his result is, it doesn't really matter. As long as he's having fun and testing himself to the full, that's the important thing. So, 6th place currently, settling down a little bit, going up the inside here, goes straight on, doesn't turn for the corner as he'd like. Next left-hander does okay, back up to 5th, and there is another Eulogy challenging him on the outside, but I think he's okay for the minute. There you can just see it coming in the shot as he trying to get past him. It's quite weird seeing two Eulogys fighting each other for position. I wasn't expecting to see that in this race, I must admit, or let alone this episode to be fair. Up the right-hander, he's going to take more speed into the corner. Too deep though, does catch the barrier. Now he's trying to get the car to settle down as he tries to take the left-hander. Drifts it nicely, but he's got to get the speed down very quickly on exit, which I think he does quite well there. Still 5th place. He's actually doing a lot better than I expected him to in this. I really thought he would struggle a lot more. Right-hander here, he's got the inside line. Can he get the car straight and speed down? Just about keeping a nose ahead of the other Eulogy there. Left-hander. And taking that nicely. No hitting barriers. He took that really nicely. Up the hill and over the jump. Nice jump by the Eulogy there. Up to 80 miles an hour now as he crosses the line. Started the final lap. He is in 5th place. If he can finish in 5th, this may be a fantastic result. Braking hard for the corner. Still catching the barrier though. That's how fast that car does go in a straight line. But turned too much, hit the barrier, and he's spun himself completely round now. And he's now in 12th place. One mistake on that corner, just lost control of the car on the corner. Just spun it too much and couldn't get himself out of the barrier. He was T-boned by a couple of cars there. He was doing so well as well with it, and I was so pleasantly surprised with how well he drove up to that point. I was amazed he's in 5th. He's gained a few positions back now though, up to 8th, momentarily into 7th. He might lose this though on the inside again. The car is starting to slide as the rain starts to come down. It's not really liking the rain, this car. It's struggling for grip. Currently 7th place though. He's come back, but then he's flipped the car and he's ended up backwards on its side, and he's going to get reset on track. He made up a few positions and unfortunately just got wayward with the car, and it is a complete change. He says that the car feels so different now in the wet from when the race started, and at the start of the race he was doing really well. His car was really holding its own, struggled in some of the corners but wasn't too bad, but now he's got no control and the rain has just changed the surface so much he just can't control the car in the corners anymore. He reckons it's just a different car, which I fully believe. You know, you can see the difference in the actual surface we're driving on compared to when it was dry, and the way this car is now handling just seems so different to what it was. So I don't think he's going to gain too much, but you never know. He's got some speed on him when he wants to. Over the jump here, he's not going to catch the cars ahead, I don't think, as they cross the line. He's going to finish in 11th place, but good on him for giving it a go. I still think his car choice was odd, and it wouldn't be the car I would have chosen, but full credit, he did well. If it wasn't for the rain and a crash, I think he could have been really good there. Confirmation of the awards, also the 1 stamp. We're getting closer to the max level as well. Reputation increase, we'll take that. And more money coming in so I can spend it on more cars. Perfect. So now the third race is Air Jack at Colonnata, Italy for Stampede race. Soldierboy is back in the car for this one, and I'm spending money again. We are going to buy and use the Porsche Cayenne Transsyberia of the pre-runner class. This is a new one, not one we've used before. It's a Porsche Cayenne though. How bad can it be? Not sure why the Transsyberia comes in, although looking at the weather here, might be suited to this one. Now this is Colonnata, Italy. This is a track we have done a lot. I think we've both been really successful at this track, and there are several reasons for it, and I don't think it's all down to how good we are. We're not. This track has a few nuances about it, a few things you can do to make this track so easy for yourself it's nearly impossible to lose. But at the start, we're gaining positions already. Up the inside here, we're going to gain a few. Let's speak about the Porsche Cayenne Transsyberia first. It's not bad. It was a little bit slow off the line, but once it gets going, it really gets going. It's got a decent top end. It really goes quickly. The brakes seem a little bit iffy. They don't seem to want to catch up with the speed you're currently going, which can be a bit difficult if you don't plan ahead. And the acceleration takes a bit of time to kick in. But once you get going, this car is pretty good. Handling wise, it's fairly solid, which does help. So, not a bad car. Maybe one I'll use again in the future, we'll see. But the nuances of the track, there are a couple of things you can do to make this track a lot easier for yourself. The final turn before the jump, which we'll get to short in a second actually, because we're nearly there, you don't have to brake. You can take it full speed as long as you feather the throttle. The AI has to brake for it, so straight away you've got a massive advantage when it comes to speed, and that will always keep you several seconds ahead. We'll showcase it here in fact. Also the choice section now. I've always said the left hand is quicker because you're going downhill after you've gone up here, and I believe that gives you more speed. I don't really know if that's right, but it's this section here where we can outgun every car on the track, and you can see just the overspeed there because we don't have to touch the brakes at all. It doesn't matter what car we're using, that doesn't change. So over the jump, and as we finish the jump, we are finishing the first lap in first place. We are going to skip ahead because this race did not change. We have this advantage on this track, and we're going to skip to the final lap. This is the jump that we just saw on the end of the first lap, and again we're in first place. There's a big gap behind us. There's no way of catching us because of that one corner at the end. We can take it at such a different speed to the AI. There's no point. It's one of those races that's kind of a gimme. Unless you pick a car that is just rubbish, it's a gimme race as far as I'm concerned. So 3 stamps, a win, a little bit of a hollow victory, but that's the track. It's just something that we've worked out after playing this for as many episodes as we have so far, that track's just so easy to win at. So a nice one to test new cars, to be fair, because you've always got that advantage. Leveled up the reputation for the sponsor again, more money in the bank. We need to pay for this car for a start. I did spend a bit of money on it. And we got some stickers. Nice. So the final race of this episode is Sprint Spiral at East River Sprint, New York for a sprint event. Soldierboy's back in the car for this one, and he is going to drive the Ariel Nomad of the Super Lite class. Now, we haven't driven many Super Lite cars, and I wouldn't say there's a particular reason for it. They don't come up very often, and if they do, you've got a choice of car, and it wouldn't be my first choice. They're so easy to be knocked out the way. So I kind of just settled on the Ariel Nomad because the name, mainly. So let's see what we can do in a sprint race. It is 7 laps, but the race is pretty short because it's a sprint. So it's an oval circuit, starting in 12th. And we've been slow to gain positions, but up the first corner, trying to drift around the car around as nice as possible. Gained a few there, trying to get to the inside because the inside is obviously the shorter route. It means we've got more room to drift when we go around the corners. This car isn't really handling the way I was hoping. It's drifting, you can see there the back end sliding out from behind us. Trying to control that drift in the Ariel Nomad is horrendous. Up to 4th now. Left-hander again, still just trying to control that drift. And normally on these races, even on ice, I would like to say I'm pretty good at it. But this car just doesn't drift as well as previous. Now, Super Lite cars, I would guess, aren't designed for ice races. But I kind of thought we'd get away with it, and I don't think we are. The 3 cars ahead of us in 1st, 2nd and 3rd are ahead by a mile. I don't think we're going to catch. Left-hander again, drifting, and you just see the different steering angles I'm needing to put on. Trying to get the throttle to do what I want it to do as well. We're in 4th place after 3.5 laps. I still don't think we're going to go any further than this. If anything, we may drop back a little bit. I don't think we're catching the cars ahead of us. They got such a good jump on the start, so I don't think we've got a chance of catching them. But 4th lap, we're over halfway now. Left-hander. Maybe I am catching them. They do seem to be coming into focus more, but I think I need more laps. I don't think I can catch them with 3 laps to go. But we'll just keep trying. We have got a little gap on our own now. There's a gap to the cars behind us and a gap in front. 60 odd miles an hour, round the corner. Again, just trying to control this car. On the ice is horrible. It just doesn't drift or grip as nicely as others. Lap 5 now. Left-hander. We are definitely catching the cars ahead now. I'm pretty sure they are coming closer. At least 3rd places. Whether they made a mistake or not, I'm not sure. But I think I'm going to run out of laps before we actually catch them up. We're still in 4th place. 60 miles an hour, round the corner. Trying to get the hang of the car and how it works and struggling still round the corners. Considering there's only 2 bends, I'm still struggling. Left-hander now again. Definitely catching up on that first part there, first corner. We tend to lose it on the final, I believe. Halfway through lap 6 and we're still in 4th. Top 3 cars are still miles ahead of us. There needs to be a major error from them cars ahead, or they either fight or hit each other or something for us to gain anything, I believe. There's not much of a risk of us falling any further down the order either. We've got a big gap to the cars behind us, just under 2 seconds. I think we're safe where we are, disappointingly in a way, because I really hoped to be challenging for a victory here. But I picked a car and I've got to live with it. So left-hander coming up, final corner of the race, drifting around, going up the inside. Find that to be a lot quicker actually. Maybe should have done that sooner. So we're going to end the race in 4th place, and to be fair, pretty happy. A victory would have been fantastic, but we just weren't catching the cars ahead. And saying that, the car in 3rd place was an Ariel Nomad, so it meant it was my driving that was the issue, not the car itself. After lesson learnt there, I suppose. Confirmation of the winners. And we'll have confirmation. We definitely gained a stamp, I'm pretty sure. Yes, we did. Stamp is there, so that's job done, as far as I'm concerned. While we're getting reputation points and everything else, we did also gain a trophy. I'm spinning around trophy, which is a trophy for the Energy DLC for completing 2 events that it wants us to do. But that is it for today. Some decent racing, some decent results. Wolverine getting off to a flying start in the Audi AI Trail Quattro. Not so much with the Jackson Eulogy. And an easy race for the Porsche Cayenne Transsyberia in the 3rd race. And a sprint race that could have been better. We'll see you next time for more Dirt 5 Energy DLC.